with your question.
Yeah, so I actually spent this week watching a lot of interviews and YouTube videos from one of my favorite speakers. Yes, he's a Buddhist monk. He's a Shaolin monk. You might know his name, Shihing Yi.
Yes.
He's the headmaster in Europe.
Yeah, he's very
Um,
strict.
yes, that's what I have picked up on from him. Um, but one thing I was focusing on that he was talking heavily on was the five hindrances. So we had a couple of TED Talks about that. And so I was really focusing on like the different types, as well as like he had done like a 4-step method. Um, and like, what was the question I had? One thing I found interesting is, so with like removing hindrances, is it more of like when you're dealing with a person, not necessarily an object or a situation, but when you're dealing with a person, is it more of just like you kind of meet them and accept them wherever they're at? Like you don't like the to remove that, you don't want to like focus on changing them necessarily. So like I wouldn't, like somebody that has a different belief than me, I would not go up and be like, no, this is the reason why you need to think the way I do. Like that would not be getting rid of one of the hindrances. It would be more of just accepting people where they're at, or like I've heard before people say meeting someone where they're at. Is that correct?
I still don't understand the question. Like when you meet someone where they're at, to accept. I'm not trying. I don't know the correlation between the question acceptance and the correlation of the removal of the hindrances. Did you catch it? Okay.
So
So you can,
so
if you
like
could rephrase it. Maybe
well
the
so
bike
like
ride we just took did a number on us. So
no, it's okay. I watched a lot of videos that I don't fully understand myself, but like so like he talked a lot about how the second hindrance is like ill will. So it's like describing of like being in a state of mind that arises a negative emotion from, it can be like a person, object, or a situation.
I got it. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then he like said one of the steps would be to afterwards learn to accept and acknowledge and allow the situation or person to be the way and how they are. Like instead of trying to change them, accept them where they're at, is what I was understanding from that, but I might be wrong.
Okay, all right. So I will explain the how to remove the hindrances. Okay. So number one, we need to remind ourselves that we are an organism just like every other organisms, and it takes a long time for us to change. And in accordance to the causes and conditions of that particular human, like for myself, I can't. My mom was very judgy. I mean, I think she still is a little judgy, and due to the causes and conditions of me growing up and hearing all these judgments, um, I became judgy also, just like the rest of us. Then my dad, who was a military officer, very angry. So I picked up the heredity and trait and genes of anger and the causes and conditions of watching a very angry dad giving military orders since I was as long as I could live. So now you have someone like me who is angry growing up. This is before becoming a monk. Um, Angry and judgmental, right? Just like most of us humans. Okay. We have interference on another device. Okay. So knowing that, right? This is why it's important to practice the dependent origination first before we move into these other types of practices, because you have to know your own causes and conditions that leads to the existence of the hindrances, the tendencies of these hindrances arising. Before one can cease the hindrances effectively, one has to know where the hell it came from. What the hell? I'm mad as hell. Why am I anxious, greedy, depressed, sad, mad, lazy? Where's this lazy coming from? So Then you practice loving kindness. Then you see the total opposite of ill will, which is loving kindness, metta. Okay, and then you just take that one aspect. Let's say I always have ill will, angry, hateful thoughts, hatred, unkind, whatever the case may be. You just take that one thing. It's kind of like scrubbing the dishes. It's focus on that one area, and you practice loving kindness, and you repeat, "May I be well, be happy, be free, be healthy." Then you extend that out in accordance to the practice of loving kindness, which is, "May others be well, happy, and healthy. May they be free from mental suffering. May they be free from physical suffering." So you wish yourself first, and you wish others that. In conjoining with the first noble truth, to see that there is the existence of old age, disease, decay, birth, and death in a human's life, that your mind is intellectually convinced, academically convinced, that I should have compassion for them because they too suffer like I do. I wake up with back pain, so they also wake up with back pain. There is no point in being angry and judgmental, because if I don't look past their behavior and into the person, I'll never understand them, and this judgment will just continue on and on. How well has this been working out for me? Because I've been judging people all my life, so on and so on. So you have to kind of map it out by writing where the ill will came from. How has it affected your life based on previous encounters, previous application of one's own ill will towards others and towards oneself. There's also this book called What to Say to Yourself When You're by Yourself. And I thought, okay, all right. Sorry, there's more interference. Please enjoy the music while you wait. There's this book called What to Say to Yourself When You're by Yourself. And basically, the author has a PhD in maybe psychology or counseling. I don't think it was in communications, but based on his 20-something year research, reveals that growing up, we have a very negative tendency, all of us. Like 70-80% of humans every single day have negative tendency thoughts in their mind because of growing up. People say, no, should not, no, you should not, all these no's and you should not, to guide you to be the sweetheart that you are today and to keep you from burning yourself on the stove. So no, stop. No, you should not do that. You should do this. You should not do that. So growing up, we hear that and we repeat that in our head 187,000 times. Anywhere from 140,000 to 180,000 times. That is a lot of repeating. And so we're hardwired, according to the prefrontal cortex, amygdala, all of the nervous systems, the neurology, neurobiology aspect of it. So then, I think the Buddha knew this in his own right and in his own way 2,600 years ago. So the Buddha came up with metta, loving kindness meditation. And then the Buddha said, listen, sit back straight, shoulder relaxed, small smile on your face. May I be well, may I be happy, may I be free, may I be healthy. May others be well, be happy, be free, be healthy. May they be free from mental suffering, may they be free from physical suffering. And he wants you to do that more than perhaps 160,000 times, so that you are convinced that this is the new way, operating platform I should take, and I should not be so negative. Oh my God, why is the cloud like this? And my back hurts, my knees hurt, my neck. So why is he looking at me like this? We have this negative tendency. So to override that, the Buddha prescribed metta. So that's one way to eradicate effective removal of the hindrance of ill will.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right. Any questions so far on ill will?
No, I think that was really straightforward, actually.
you took one example out of the 5. Was there any other questions on the other 4?
Let's see.
Because if not, I will just give you a general overview of them if you don't have specific question on some of them.
Yeah, that actually might help. Just to have another definition of it.
All right. So let's go with sensory desire, right? Sensory or sensual desire. As one of the hindrances. Either we desire sex or we desire chocolate or we desire anything that activates our senses. Is not a good thing. So that is the practice of Asubha Bhavana, which is 32parts.com. What we find attractive, we find the
unattractive nature
of it. And so, see, this is how all the teachers out there, they're like, oh, Chidao's doing his job in training his novice monks because his novice monks can finish his sentence for him. Teacher of the year. Woo-hoo. So anything we find attractive, we find the unattractive nature to lessen, to mitigate the sensual, sensory desire of he, she, they, object, chocolate, sex, TV, Netflix. We don't want to self-indulgence. Remember, this all has to do with the middle way. The Buddha don't want you for self-mortification, which is too lazy, sleeping all day, every day, and not too much of it. Whatever, too much chocolate leads to diabetes. Too much sex leads to a whole bunch of hormonal oxytocin, serotonin issues. Too much of something is not healthy for you. All right. So one needs to borrow a little bit from science to convince that, all right, too much of this sensory desire, whatever it is not good. Too much gambling is not good for you. Again, dopamine release and the overactiveness of that aspect. Okay, so that's sensory. Okay, so I'm just gonna give a general thing. There's a lot of monks that talk about the hindrances. This is like a big, big, big thing, and all of our
it sounded like it.
Yeah, all of our meditation aims to eradicate these hindrances. Doubt. So doubt in the teachings of the Buddha. So it's like, I don't believe the Buddha is real. Okay. Well, our scholars with a lot of PhDs and many scholars with dual doctorates, triple doctorates, over and over again, and for hundreds of years, and most recently in this lifetime, the existence of living venerables, most venerables, professor and venerable doctors out there have said that the one and only historical Gautama Buddha did in fact exist on this planet. He was born on this planet. Where's my proof book? Uh-oh. Can you still see me? Or hear me? Y'all give me 1 second. I was trying to locate my book. There's so many books in this room. Okay, I gotta call her back because... Can you grab me the other one? Out there on the ground. And there was a special book that I was looking for. I will FaceTime you right back. We just lost connection. Yes, thank you. Y'all, hold on one second, real quick. Hey, listen, you see a book on here that says what Buddhists believe, or what the Buddha taught? God, there's so many books I can't remember what the Buddha taught. Ooh, okay, she's waiting. sir. Yours obviously ain't this one. The blue book is not here? No. This is what Buddhists believe, not the. Well, oh yeah, she's got it. Never mind. Or how do you do this thing right here? How do you do this FaceTime thing on this thing? Is that her? 757. Yeah, that's her. It's gotta be her. Why is this upside down? Oh my God. How do you know a real monk from a fake one? Then they don't know how to use technology. 1 second here. Alright, don't worry about it. She's got it. She's got the book. She's got the book. I got it. Pick up. Now we'll call her on this one. Okay. Can you see me, Bree? It's not raining today. Why connection issues? That's weird. We'll make it happen, y'all. Please enjoy the. Oh my God, that is so weird. What if we were doctors and we're doing surgery right now and I need to like have guidance during surgery? The patient would obviously die right about now. Dear Apple FaceTime, the reliability of it. Hi Bree, can you hear me? Oh.
This is a poor connection too.
Poor connection?
Yeah.
It's not us. If you want to, well, okay, so I'll use this device, because if this device fails, that means the world just stopped working. It's her end. Okay, she says she could see me at that time. We can't see her, but that's okay. That's alright. If not, we can do audio. Probably do audio. Alright, no more FaceTime. Alright, shut this down. Ooh. Okay, call her audio, and we will make it work.
Hello.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there, Bree.
It's okay. I was losing my internet's splotchy for some reason right now too, so I'm wondering if that has something to do with it also.
Okay, so you have that book that I sent you. What? Oh my gosh, Bree. Okay, can you hear me, Bree? What? Why would she FaceTime me if I said we're gonna do audio? Bree, why?
Is the volume up?
Yeah, volume's up, especially if it's ringing like that. My goodness, Bree. I can't even hear you. All right, Bree, we're just gonna go to audio. This is funny. I think everyone's watching. They're shaking their head. Like, better what you die. You should take a course on technology.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we'll just do audio, Bree. It's okay.
That's fine.
Obviously, when I saw you on FaceTime, you were alert, alive, conscious, and breathing normally.
Yes.
So you got the book that I sent you, What Buddhists Believe.
Yes.
The first part of it, first the first part of it talks about proof that the Buddha was real. You remember the first like third 20 pages?
Yeah.
Okay, well there you have it, right? Now we got 8 billion people that uh, could and would object if the Buddha did not exist. You agree that we would have a very big controversy, and yet I don't see those controversies anywhere. The fact that the Buddha is fake, or he did not, in fact, was born here, achieved enlightenment, and then died here. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that.
Okay, good. And he told us to test his teachings. So where is the doubt, right? And and I've told people over and over again, my job is to prove the Buddha wrong because it was an open invitation to all of us. That came from the Kalama Sutta. And I haven't been able to find anything that is inconsistent, useless, or goes against the grain of moral and ethical values of a human. You understand? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't either.
Right. So, um, that's how you get rid of doubt, is to go back to the 9 qualities of the Buddha and the biography of the Buddha to strengthen your faith, so that you have unshakable faith and confidence.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now moving along.
So wait, so this doubt, the hindrance of doubt, is that only in regards to the Buddha, or is it like doubt in anything?
The teachings of the Buddha.
Okay, just so I understood a little better.
Right. And if your doubt continues, then it will affect everything else too, and it will also affect your own enlightenment. You cannot be an arahant if you have doubts within the teachings of the Buddha.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's why it's important to really eradicate this buying through one's own investigation, diligent investigation of who was the Buddha, and who wrote about him, and who said what about him. And the strongest proof you have is the monastic order, because we are people who have been broken, and then we were able to fix ourselves by and through the teachings, and we are living example and proof that it does in fact work.
That makes sense.
Some of us monastics were once doctors and lawyers and engineers, so some of us, were very high-ranking individuals of society, and then we renounced. We gave everything up. We gave up our titles, our jobs, our degrees, and then we veered towards this path because we realized that our old ways of money, prestige, sensual desire, sex, gambling, money, girls, you name it, chocolate, Rolls Royce, 24 karat gold, diamonds, it wasn't working out, and it did not in fact lead us to the path of happiness, inner freedom, joy, and liberation. We felt imprisoned, we felt trapped, we felt nothing is ever good enough, we felt all of these things, therefore we gave up. And we found so much joy. We found the total opposite of that: inner peace, freedom, and liberation by and through testing the hypothesis and testing the direct teachings of the Buddha. And that's how you get the truth in regards to doubts that may arise during your practice. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's one of the things that have always intrigued me so much about Buddhism specifically, is because, like a lot of other faiths that I've kind of explored a little bit, it's the only one that I have felt has ever, like, not only said it's okay, but, like, encouraged asking why.
Right. Okay, good. Because, yeah, because I'm giving a general overview of it. I wanted it to be comprehensive as I can for the rest of the world to hear, understand where I'm coming from. Okay, so moving on to restlessness and remorse, and conjoining with the laziness. Okay, in the five
Okay.
hindrances, right? So, matter of fact, I'll ask Venerable Lee to talk about laziness. So, what is the meditation to overcome laziness?
Mm.
I'll give you a hint. We visited a very
Oh,
scary place.
death meditation.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, talk about it, Venerable Lee.
To try and eradicate laziness, we meditate on death, on our own death. When it will be, or when it will happen, where it will happen, and how it will happen. And we typically, monks will go to graveyards or. Should I go in depth or?
Laziness.
Okay.
Emphasize time and death.
Basically, yeah. So when one meditates on their own death, then you kind of realize that I don't have much time because I could die at any time, at any point, anywhere. So I need to get through the teachings as diligently as I can and absorb and retain as much as I can and correlate that with life in general and your own life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
About how when one meditates on death, we realize it could happen at any point.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So, oh, it wants me to do what? Oh, all right. So in regards to laziness, I mean, so we humans are. Have you ever seen tigers be lazy?
Um, I
Lions,
haven't
right?
really seen a tiger. I mean, lions. Yeah, they're always on TV sleeping.
All right. So when I
Not
give my
long. They
public,
sleep like 16 hours a day.
all right, when I give public talks, I'm like eat, poop, sleep, sex, right? And and of course TV. So I mean, all humans love eat, poop, sleep, sex, and TV. And the couch was a terrible invention. Notice that we are like automatically programmed to be lazy. I don't know, it's weird when you like really look at our bodies and how the behavior of our body, the tendencies of it, is like we just want to eat, sleep, have sex, rest, and repeat. And then hunt and gather. So I mean, like we were like literally made to kill, go out and like hunt and gather and kill, and then come back and procreate. You know, like the Bible says, go forth and multiply. And then rest enough energy to go and do it again and again and again. So it's like then comes modern day, where you have to go to work and pay bills, and who the hell wants to do that?
Right.
And then we're like, oh my god, how about I not clock into McDonald's right now and just sleep in? And so many, so many young people, they're like, I'm sick today, but you know, like once a week they're sick. So that's like 52 times a year that they're sick. So you know they come up with all sorts of unique I have COVID, but you know, this is the 80th time I have COVID. So they come up with all sorts of excuses to be lazy. You know what I mean?
You might be ground zero if you get COVID that many times.
Right. So the Buddha says the problem is that we think we have,
Time.
and we in fact don't. Clock's ticking. Your heart beats billions of time, and each heartbeat is closer to.
Death.
And so therefore, you know, you just need to like, where have I been in my life? All my life, in my life. and what have I accomplished, and did I study what needed to be studied, know what needs to be known, and do what needs to be done. And if I die tomorrow, what regrets do I have? So you have to really ask yourself, when will I die? Where will I die? How will I die? But it's the when will I die that shakes people up. So any intelligent human will realize that, okay, all right, well, I need to get my act together and stop being lazy, because if I die tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of regrets. Or if the doctor says you have 720 hours to live, I think that's a month or a week. I forgot. I think that's a month.
I spent half the time figuring out how much time that is.
24 times 7. Okay, so that's a month. That's a month. 24 times 37. Yep, that's 1 month. So if the doctor says, "All right, well, you have cancer, stage 4. You're going to die in 1 month, with all of your organs failing and it's spreading to your kidneys and lungs and everything else. You have exactly 720 hours to live starting now." And you need to ask yourself, "Holy crap. Oh my God. If I had 720 hours to live, what do I need to do? What do I need to read? What do I need to let go?" You would do a lot of things differently. As I'm telling you,
True.
yes. So as I'm telling you this, and Venerable Lee spoke about death meditation, in this very room that you saw, to my right, which you did not get to see, but everyone else did previously on live sessions, is an actual real skeleton named Stan. So in my room, there is a real dead dude, previously dead dude in my room. Matter of fact, if I reach over, like I'm doing now, I'm actually touching his hands.
Oh.
Yes. So, yeah, I take it very seriously. Perhaps I am the first monk that you have spoken to that has, and now the whole rest of the world knows. I mean, the rest of the world did, in fact, knew a long time ago that I have a real skeleton, and I displayed him multiple times, even dressing him up and playing with him. But now the world knows that he resides in the very room that I lay in, because that's how we are supposed to practice, because the Buddha wanted us to practice that. Okay. So that's laziness. That's how you overcome laziness. Right? Any questions in regards to that?
No, that makes sense.
Okay. Then we come with anxiousness. And anxiousness, because our mind is wired 60 or 70%, according to science, anxiety about what's going to happen tomorrow. Oh my God, I got bills to pay, and is the earth going to come to a stop, screeching halt tomorrow? So we meditate so that we can stay in the present moment. That's why mindfulness meditation is important. When you look at the Noble Eightfold Path, it encompasses the medicine needed to fight the 5 hindrances.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah, I did get that connection.
Right. So that's in a nutshell for you.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't even realize that was specific to the teachings of the Buddha, because in previous they kind of just they didn't really spend a whole lot of time on that one. They spent a lot more time on like sensual desire, restlessness, that kind of idea. So that definitely cleared some stuff up.
Right. Any other questions you have on your studies in Buddhism so far?
No, but I definitely think this week I'm gonna kind of set this where it's at, let it like settle a little bit, and I'm gonna focus on, unless you think otherwise, I'm gonna focus on dependent origination this week. As you said, I should probably get that down before I try to really tackle the 5 hindrances.
Yeah. Did you go in depth into the dependent origination? I know that previously you were looking into that. Are you secure in that knowledge, understanding?
No, because I think that was happening around the same time that I started like really thinking about talking to my parents and then that kind of took over, so I didn't get as far as I'd wanted to. So I'm gonna tackle that again.
Okay. All right. So that will give you something to do this week, and then you get to be the teacher next week to tell me about the 12 links of dependent origination.
The 12, okay. Make sure I know how many.
Yes, there's 12 links to the dependent origination. You don't have to explain to me in total. You don't have to like go in each link and tell me, all right, so this link is past life. These 3 links about past life. The other 3 links is about present. Of the 4 other links is present, and then the remaining links are future. You don't have to go so much into details. You need to demonstrate a good level of understanding, and I'll be the judge of that. And if you fail, then I will jump in and give you an overview like I did. So there's no pressure.
Okay, that sounds good.
I don't want to chase students away.
I appreciate that.
I am an awesome teacher,
Oh.
as he proclaims himself. As he gives himself a 5-star Google review.
On the opposite, that you're the one that gave yourself a review.
There's the rate your professor, and then I should make up a website that says rate your monk. Rate.
You should, because I used Ray My Professor when I was in college.
Right. Okay, all right. One of my professors in college was going through a divorce, and that was pretty rough on all of us.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But the rest of the world don't have to worry about that problem because we monks are not married, especially Theravadins. Theravadin monks have to remain celibate for the remaining balance of our natural living life.
Oh, there you go. Well, divorce won't be a problem then.
Right. Also reflect on the 5 hindrances. You also use the 5 hindrances to screen the quality of a monk, to ask yourself, is this teacher a good, authentic, qualifying, and experienced teacher? Because obviously if the teacher is calling you while he's on the couch with Netflix on, that is not a good example of what the Buddha would want him to do. If he has doubts, if he's lazy, or if he's a little bit too angry, then we have an issue. So you also use the 5 hindrances as a screening and checklist when you look for qualifying authentic teachers.
Oh, there you go. So that's kind of like the Rate My Monk then.
Yeah, we monks have a very long list, a very long checklist, so that that's how we inspire other people buying through our own change. We can't sit there on the couch with ice cream calling you and then say, yeah, you should not eat ice cream, even though we ourselves are eating ice cream. And our Rolls Royce is sitting right outside our room. Very good. Any questions for me or Venerable Lee?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you, guys.
Are you sure? Because I think you need to pick his mind.
I need to pick his mind?
Yeah, give him some mental workout here. He's like falling asleep next to me.
I heard him finishing a lot of your sentences, so.
If it is, he's trying to earn a Google review. So so you have a lot of power, Miss Bree, Saint Bree.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I don't know off the top of my head.
Are you sure you don't want to throw one at him just for fun? Go ahead, find anything that you can
just
think
for
of.
Fun?
Yeah, come on, attack him.
Oh, I was actually interested, because I've seen you a couple of times taking part in death meditation, and maybe this isn't necessarily an intellectual question, but how much have you felt it change your perspective since I don't know how long you've been doing it, but I see it happen a lot through Instagram.
So when you practice death meditation, okay, give me a second here because I'm trying to scan on how much info. Have you done death meditation yet or no?
So I've never done this might sound weird, but I've never done Buddhist death meditation. But when I was growing up, I would go and sit in cemeteries because I felt like especially like the really old tombs, they would get lonely because no one would come and see them anymore. So every once in a while, I would just go see them and just sit down and read for a while. So I don't know if that's the same thing, but I did that as a kid.
How you gonna answer a question with a question, Venerable Lee?
Okay, so I'll tell
He's
you.
making me work too.
Yeah, that's why the referee had to jump in.
So I'll tell you. I will tell you this. So death meditation, if you get time, so death meditation, how we practice in Buddhism is typically in cemeteries. A lot of people are not too comfortable with cemeteries, but we lie down in the cemetery with all of the people who have passed on. And like I said previously, we meditate on when we will die, where we will die, and how we will die. And there's different, because I've done it with a couple different students as well, and we all had different experiences. And it does change your perspective quite a bit, because once you actually, meditate on it, and that's the only thing that you were focused on, things become quite real, and it is a very good motivator, I would say, to get things done. Because once you start to meditate on death and your own death, you realize there's so many different possibilities as far as where, when, and how. And it kind of like gives you a little nudge to be like, okay, well, I need to stop wasting time, and I need to reflect on where I'm wasting time and maybe cut that out a little bit. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Any other
Maybe
questions?
that's the reason why I used to hate watching the show 1,000 Ways to Die, because it would just make me really paranoid.
Right. So,
Well, go ahead, give her the famous quote on karma.
if karma wants you, karma will have you.
That makes sense.
Literally, if karma wanted you tonight, Bree, you would die in your sleep. Like, there's so many technicalities of death. Like, if the heart stops, that's a technicality. Then you die. You know what I mean? It is.
I mean, that is true. I mean, that's one of the nicer ways to go.
Right. So because of this wise fear, people in the East give more and take less. They're nice and kindful and hold the door. They're giving their body, speech, and mind for the benefit of other people. Just because you don't want a lot of heavy debts of karmic weight before you die, and you obviously want your life to be extended with not a lot of mental suffering and physical suffering, and you do that by and through giving more and taking less. It's no wonder why I've been repeating that, God Lord knows how long. So yeah, that's the teaching on karma, which we'll touch on down the road, but you get little glimpses of it here and there.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. I've been, funny enough, you're talking about, like, giving more and taking less. My job actually, like, offers, like, volunteer hours, and I've been looking into, like, local, things to, like, start going and doing just to kind of give back to the community, because I'd like to be more involved in the local community where I'm at, which I'm not currently, so. I don't know.
You got it. You got this. You got this. So, all right. Well, you're doing a great job, and you sure you don't want another question for Venerable Lee, or are you content and satisfied with the assistance that you have been receiving?
Yeah, I'll give him 5 stars.
Okay, you have 30 days to change your mind.
Okay. Sounds good.
He's sweating bullets next to me right now. All right, so we'll reconvene next week, and just go back to the 12 links and continue journaling. Have you been journaling?
Yes, I have, especially like this past week.
Okay.
For sure.
All right, so next week let's share some things that we journaled about, because it will help you understand the links of influence in your life and how that helps eradicate a lot of traumatic experiences.
Okay, sounds good.
And also, as with every talk that we have, every encounter, to also reflect a little bit of the teachings by going back to the journal. It says, "Dear Journal, the Venerable Chidao was very funny tonight. We touched up on the five hindrances, and these are some of the things that he said about ill will, about torpor and sloth, which is laziness. He spoke about aversion, which is ill, and so on, and death meditation, and how it applies to my life, and how I can overcome and combat these five hindrances effectively. I spoke to Venerable Lee about laziness and what is the antidote to that. So you do want to do like a little report to yourself, so that that way, if you are forgetful later down the road, you can also review what you've written, and so it sticks a little better. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Awesome. Well, you have a wonderful night,
Same to you guys.
and if you need me any sooner, let me know. Okay.
I definitely will. Thank you.
Venerable Lee, anything to say?
No, have a good night, Bree. And if you ever get the time to practice death meditation, I look forward to your experiences.
Okay, sounds good.
It's not that scary. Big Bodhi online, he guides people through it. So
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll watch one of his videos to kind of see.
it's very cool. It's
Uh,
very easy. And he guides people in it so they know what to expect. Like first of all, he explains what it is, and then he's like, okay, well, this is what we're gonna be thinking about as we close our eyes. So it's not like like imagine a plane crashing into the ocean. Like people, it's not that scary. It's pretty cool and awesome and quite peaceful actually. So
okay. I just gotta find a cemetery.
right, well, make sure it has lights. And
Oh, okay, yeah.
don't go at night.
I'm gonna say you do it at night.
uh,
I don't know if I'm brave enough for that. I would picture some of the scams coming out.
Okay, Bree, take
I
care.
watch too many horror films.
Very good. We'll talk to you next
All right.
week, okay?
Yeah, you guys have a good night.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, folks, for more additional teaching, please visit my YouTube. Thank you all for being wonderful listeners. It's getting a little late, and we have some other chores that we have to do and catch up on some readings for a victorious day tomorrow. Thank you all for being wonderful listeners, and we look forward to seeing you all on YouTube. Any questions you may have, please direct that to Instagram or Facebook Messenger. Venerable Chidao, TRIDAO. Take care. Oh, and may you all be well, be happy, be free, and always be healthy.